Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how things can go wrong and how do you kind of work around them. So today I was just filming a video. I did a video about making a song, so it was a bit of a different kind of video. And this is meant to be the end where the lav mic goes, so you can see I've got this lav mic right here. What I did was I was wearing it, right, and I pulled it out of my phone because if you could see, they go into my phone, right? I pulled it out of the phone, then it was kind of dangling sort of down here, right? And I was sat down and I went to get up, so I pushed, which meant that the distance between my foot and where the lav mic was attached, which is up here on the upper chestal area, you see how it extends? So yeah, I have utterly fucked it, if you can tell. Here's the microphone on its own. Hello everybody. Yeah, great. You see? Also, I've fucked the base plate on my tripod. This camera that this is being recorded on now, the base plate for connecting things to a tripod head like this. There's a sliding plate. Yeah. Now I've threaded the nut on the inside, or however you describe it. So yeah, I've had to buy a new one of those, which is 20 quid. I'm gonna have to buy a new one of these, which is 50 quid, so that's 70 quid. So you can make expensive mistakes, and you want to try and avoid those things, but these are things that come with the natural wear and tear. Like, this was genuinely quite irritating, but the thread on the base plate of the Canon, my camera, I can't be too annoyed at it, because look, I bought this camera coming up on 4 years ago now, and this camera's been all over the country, it's been all over London, and when I carry it, I basically just carry it on the tripod, and then I hold it either by the tripod, kind of like this, like a machine gun, like a minigun, or I kind of over my shoulder like a hobo. Neither of these ways is particularly standard for these kind of cinema cameras. It's not really recommended that you do it like this. I haven't actually damaged the screw at all. The screw's completely fine. It's just the thing on the inside is completely threaded. And I always feel like, because there's two things on the inside, right, that you can screw things into. I've only had one in. As you can see, there's only one on this, right? But if I had two, I feel like it would have more connection points and more, because it's quite a large camera. This isn't like a mini DSLR. This is a big, bulky camera. I feel like if you had more, you would be able to work with it a bit more, because you would have more area covered with connection points. So, as you can see, things are kind of going a little bit wrong, and these are things that are going to happen. Things will go wrong in your journey as a creator. Sometimes you'll have more resources, sometimes you won't have as many. I don't have a tripod. Well, I do have the tripod, but I can't use the tripod at the moment. So for all intents and purposes, I don't have a tripod at the moment, right? Which meant I had to work around things. So if you see, this camera is literally just on that. It's just going to be placed down here, okay? Back there, and back I come. So you can see, I don't have nearly as much in the way of resources as I had before, but sometimes I had more resources than others, and other times I have less resources, and that'll be the case for you as well. You know, sometimes you got money, more money than usual, so you use that money to buy something that is useful to you. Sometimes your laptop's broken, so you don't have a laptop. You know, sometimes your camera doesn't work, so you just got to use your phone. Sometimes your lav mics won't work, so you're going to have to resort to just using the thing on your phone, or you have to figure out some other method of doing it, or you have to buy some really cheap, crappy one off eBay or something like that. Sometimes you are going to come into challenges, and it's up to you as an endurance master of your craft to get through these challenges and overcome these hurdles, and to make the most of them, because, you know, I feel like this video is made more special by the fact that I have lost some resources because of my own stupidity and just overall wear and tear. You know, these things are going to happen, and it's up to you to figure out your own ways of dealing with them. You know, I've ordered a new base plate, so that's coming on the 7th. So come Friday, I believe, or sorry, Thursday, you're going to start seeing videos with the tripod again. So standard videos will kind of continue from there. For now, I'm using the Canon 6D sometimes as well, which is, it's not quite as good quality because it's a DSLR compared to this, which is a Super 35 Cine. I actually, do you know what I should do while I have this opportunity is I should do a review of the camera. Yeah, I'll do that at some point. And anyway, I think the lesson I want you to take away from this video is that, you know, you'll always come into hurdles, you'll always come into issues, and it's just up to you to just work around them. Because if you go on any of your favorite creators' pages or YouTube channels, or look at their discography, their filmography, etc., there'll be some albums or videos or films or whatever where they had more of a budget, they had more resources and stuff like that. And it was more of a professional high-end product. And then you'll have other ones which are more scrappy and more lo-fi and more down to earth, and where they have less resources. And it's not necessarily that these ones, the professional ones, are always the best ones. Sometimes these are the better ones. Sometimes the conflict of not having the resources to be able to tell your story sufficiently makes your story more interesting as you try your best to scream in space when no one can hear you, and just go forward and actually just create stuff. No matter what you've got. You might not have a Super 35 Cine fucking camera. You can get them on eBay for fairly cheap, but you don't have to. You can use your phone. The phones are brilliant. If you want to use a lav mic with your phone, I'm sure there's a way of figuring it out. I haven't bothered. And if there isn't a way of doing it, then you can get these really tiny, cheap little shitty cameras off Amazon for like 20 quid, or you can get some knockoff old phone from the cash converters or something for like 30 quid. And you know, or take one of your old phones and just use that for the camera, or something like that. Or even hell, just borrow your roommate's phone or your parents' phone or whatever, just for that like space of time where you use it. Because yeah, you're not always going to have the resources to do stuff. And if you let that get in the way of your creativity and your flow state, then you will get down on yourself about your lack of ability, despite the fact that it's not anything to do with your ability, it's your resources that are the issue. You can make a masterpiece for £0, and you can also make absolute garbage for millions. So is it about finding a middle ground, or is it about finding your overall comfort zone? Or is it about being flexible with what you're given? Because sometimes you'll have the resources and sometimes you won't. Sometimes things will work in your favor, sometimes they won't. That's the game of life. And if you play the game of life, you keep playing it and playing it and playing it and just rolling the dice at the next project and the next project and the next project, and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, you will learn your craft and you will improve by doing rather than studying the theory. Because look, I think if you've watched any of my other videos, you've probably figured out by now that I don't know theory or anything like that. So I am not preaching education, I am preaching for self-learning experience. I'm advocating for you to go out and experience these things rather than to learn about them and then go and experience them, because you get so much more fulfillment just rolling through life as fast as you can. That's the way that I like to do things, and when I don't do things that way, I look up at a version of myself that does do things that way or used to do things that way. You know, for the past couple of years, I wasn't making nearly as much stuff as I do now. You know, I wasn't making 2 videos a day. I wasn't pumping out albums or films or anything like that. I kind of didn't do very much, you know, and that got me down, because that's sort of me, and I need to create stuff in order to feel right and fulfilled and so on, and stuff like that. So you kind of come to a point where you find your comfort zone, and then you push at the boundaries, you carve a space out for yourself, and you use that space to create works of art or music or film or whatever is in your wheelhouse, and whatever you like, and let it be you. Let everything about it be truly you, down to a T, because you're a way more interesting person than you think you are. You're a really fascinating individual, even if you get down on yourself, even if you think, you look back at awkward conversations where you didn't really have much to say with someone that you didn't really know, and you kind of think, oh God, I'm a terribly uninteresting person. You're not. And if you give yourself the chance, you will see that you're not, and that you're way better than you might think. So yeah, the overall takeaway from this, I think, is don't let your limitations conquer you, conquer your limitations. That's going to be all from me today. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the year. Yeah, Christmas period's coming up. We're going to keep working at the Jonny Mozza film, and things are going to go well. So thank you all so much for watching this. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about confidence and about the idea that you are much more powerful than you believe that you are, and you are much more capable than you think you are. Now, all of us obviously have a conscience, and our consciences will all work in different ways. Some people think in terms of an internal monologue, some people think in terms of an abstract kind of thought, and they don't think in terms of a language thinking the sentence for them and then they say the sentence. Everyone's brain works a little bit differently. Some people are prone to, mental illnesses, depression, anxiety and stuff like that. Some people aren't, so some people have an easier time of this than others. But I think what's really key is to just own yourself, own the fact that you are you, and not let anything or anybody get in the way of that. Even though you might doubt yourself, particularly yourself, don't let yourself get in your own way. You might doubt yourself many a time, right? You might feel like you're not up to something. Like today, I felt like I wasn't completely up to doing these videos, to be honest, but you are more powerful than you think you are, and you are far more able to do the things that you want to do than you think you are. If you ever sort of made a big plan, right? You have a plan to do this, that, and this, right? You might be able to do this, and that, but you didn't manage to do that, and this. Okay, so you only managed to do half of the things that you were even trying to do. But because you set your expectations quite high and you were striving for that high expectation, you ended up working harder as a result. And the fact that you managed to get this, and that done is pretty good in and of itself. If you hadn't set those high expectations, you might not have gotten that much done to begin with because you didn't have something to strive for. You might not have been able to get that done. If you work with low expectations, you might not be able to get nearly as much done because sure, you might be able to meet or even surpass those expectations, but the fact that you've got the challenge in front of you, I think gives you that motivation to try that extra bit harder. Because we are all capable of it. We're all capable of doing insane things. We're all capable of, extreme life circumstances. None of us are immune to, the catastrophizing sort of anxiety sort of thing that goes in the brain, where, you kind of sit there and you think, I'm not up to this, I can't do this, I just want to stay inside and eat crisps. We all have that semi thing in our brain, or whatever your comfort is. I don't know what that might be. That's down to you and your personality, right? But in terms of you being more capable than you think you are, you just are, right? You ever look back at something you did in the past and you think, fucking hell, how did I do that? You ever look at, take when you were doing your exams in school, right? Could you go back and do your exams now in the mindset that you're in? I certainly couldn't. If I had to go back and do my GCSEs, I would fail all of them because I don't have that same mindset. But at some point I did, and I had the power to be able to do that. We all have power to do things beyond our expectations. I thought I was going to fail my exams, and I ended up passing them. Not with flying colours, maybe Technicolor, but what matters is that you're able to do more than you think. You're able to achieve more than you believe. And the way that you achieve those things is by not worrying so much about stuff and just going out there and doing it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But the fact that you tried it means that it's rooted into your mind, and it's rooted in that you are capable of trying that thing. Even if you failed this time, you see where you went wrong, you see where you went right, and you try and eliminate the wrong and you try and increase the amount of right. And you do that for all things throughout life, not necessarily just creating, but also, in general life, doing errands, running your errands. You ever have a day where you need to do a lot of errands, right? Where, you need to go to the bank, you need to go to the opticians, you need to sort, your kid's lunch box out. You need to sort so many things out on one day. And you kind of arranged, you need to go from this Broadway to this Broadway, and you've got this, and this you need to do in this Broadway, you need to do this, and this in this other bit of town. And you end up getting it all done, you come back, and now you've got so many things ticked off your to-do list that you feel brilliant. You just feel like you can sit back and kind of go, oh, wow, I'm fucking all right, aren't I? I'm capable. I'm capable of being a human being in the real world, and we all are. You know, and it's easy to get yourself down, and it's easy to make yourself feel like you're not capable of doing certain things, and it's easy to let stuff like planes that are going overhead, the equivalent for you, because that's kind of an irritant to me. It's kind of getting in the way of things. It's a hurdle to sort of cross, right? You'll have your own version of the planes. You'll have your own little hurdles that you need to come over. You'll have your own little obstacles to overcome. Everybody's kind of got that going on, and we're all just trying. At the end of the day, we're all just trying to be as best as we possibly can. And if you're up to the task, just do what you set out to do. And if you're not, try it anyway. And if you fail, you know, you've at least tried it, and you can sort of sit back and go, you know, it's good that I tried, because if I didn't try, what could I say that I did today? You know, it's nice to obviously have an off day. We all need to have off days, but it's also important to try and maximize your efficiency within life, and not necessarily in some kind of, you know, self-improvement kind of way. Not everything needs to be for the sake of progressing a career or progressing your mental health or progressing your physical health, you know, or stuff like that. Sometimes, oh no, you can go past if you want. It's all part of the thing. No, I know it's kind of hidden under that because of the rain and stuff like that. You have a good day, yeah? Take care. Yeah, I'm just in a sort of crossroads. That's quite a busy area. It's much busier than it kind of looks, actually. And yeah, that's another obstacle that you might need to overcome. Everything that you do, you might think about what could go wrong. Whenever I do these videos, I think about what might go wrong. Whenever you go to a job interview, you think about, you know, them asking you that question that just stumps you, and you imagine yourself there giving this really stupid answer, and you imagine the job interviewer sort of sitting there going, right, okay. Right, okay, so do you want to tell me a bit about your job history? I spent some time working at WH Smith, and then, you know, I quit that because, it was doing a number on mental health, and then, you know, I sort of didn't do much for a while, and then I wandered around sort of ducking and diving, scrapping metal and stuff, and then, you know, maybe I got a job at an office for a little bit, and I'm just purely making this up, this little scenario, because that's what people, at least I, and probably other people as well, it's what people do. You kind of come up with the worst case scenario, and then that worst case scenario very, very, very rarely actually happens. And even if it does happen, so what? It will get you down for a little bit, it'll upset you, and it'll set you back. But so what if you've been pushed a couple steps back? Do you know how easy it is to walk? It's not that hard, right? You get pushed back 3 steps. Watch this. 1, 2, 3, right? What did that take? About 10 seconds? Obviously, for the sake of the metaphor, it might take longer, but you're much more powerful than you are, and you can do things so much more fastly, efficiently than you think that you can. And if you just set the expectations high and you shoot for the stars, even if you only make it to Neptune, you've made it to fucking Neptune, man. If you just set the goal of, you know, I'm going to try and, you know, jump quite high, and then you jumped quite high, you know, that's all right. But if you shoot super high and you don't necessarily get all the way there, even if you made it 70% of the way there, that's 70% of the way that you wouldn't have made it otherwise. So always be happy with, you know, the things that you've been able to achieve. Always be kind to yourself. Always try to improve yourself in certain ways, not necessarily just in, you know, traditional sort of self-improvement kind of ways, in a real world kind of way. I also mean in a holistic and a philosophical sort of worldview sort of way, and general just enjoying life. It's nice to find new things, and it's nice to try out another hurdle that you got to kind of overcome. All part of the worst case scenario, because I was thinking as I came out to do these videos, oh, what if the cough comes back? What if the sneeze comes back? You know, am I going to be too cold in this? What if the paracetamol I took means that I'm just going to be talking absolute nonsense? All these kind of various things. I had to take paracetamol because of the cold that I've got. Otherwise, I would be snotting up and running all over the place. And I didn't really want that. I don't think you want that either. So, yeah, I'd like to wrap this video up by just sort of saying, you are more powerful than you think, and you can do stuff that you never imagined. And that's good. It's good that you can do these things. And if you haven't done them so far, just give one a try. Just try something. Do it. Go for it and see what happens. Because I'll tell you what, if you actually manage it, that feels like something else. And if you don't manage it, you'll have made it a decent amount of the way. if you give it your honest, most earnest attempt. So I think that's going to be everything for this one. A bit of a shorter video, I feel like. Yeah, I'm sorry it's a little bit all over the place, but it's a topic that is naturally all over the place because it's not some kind of ingrained philosophy that has anything being worked out around it. It's just a little theory that I've come up with, that you are more powerful than you think you are. You can do stuff that you could never have possibly imagined. You know, I'm not saying you can lift like 100-kilogram weights if you're like scrawny or whatever, but you know, you can start lifting more of them. You can maybe lift the 20-kilogram ones and maybe do like 30 of them rather than like 5 of them, and that will improve you for the future, and then you'll be able to do 30, and that'll become easier and easier and easier, and at a certain point that'll just become like second nature, and then you'll do it again with maybe 40 kilograms or whatever, and then you'll carry on, you'll carry on, you'll carry on. So I hope that makes some kind of sense. I hope you're able to take something away from this video, that you are a fucking powerful individual with great capability, and you should live up to that capability because you're pretty fucking decent, I'll tell you that. So thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a good rest of the day. Try something weird. Let me know in the comments what you tried and what you did to do it. Say if you even didn't make it all the way in terms of what you were hoping to achieve. Even if you only made it 50% of the way or 40% of the way, that's 40% of the way that you wouldn't have made it otherwise. So why worry so much about what you can't do when you could always just see what you can? So yeah, that's going to be everything from me. Take care. Have a good rest of the day. Bye. Yeah, that's going to be the video. Okay, I filmed a film here actually. It's called Cornered. I might put it in the Amazon. I might put the Amazon link in the description. I play like this sort of. I don't even know what I play. It's a guy that wants to play someone's guitar, and I'm basically sat like this. I'm not doing it properly because I don't want to get my ass too wet. So yeah. Fuck it. That's cut. It's cutting to a clip of it. So yeah. That's Brian Corner, isn't it? That is Brian Corner. That's actually Brian Corner. Dude, this guy's music has meant so much to me.
Hey, Brian Corner, come here, come here. I have to ask, when is the next album coming out? I have to know.
She's staring at me.
Could I have a look at your guitar? Is that okay? This is the guitar you played on the Blank Statement album, isn't it? I love that album. It changed my life. Can I play it? Oh,
Wait, Brian, hey, Brian, you forgot your guitar.
Can't believe it. He left his guitar for me.
He didn't leave it for you. It's his guitar.
The guy's got hundreds anyway. He's loaded.
It's not your guitar, though.
That's not fair, you lanky twat.
He did not leave the guitar for you.
I called dibs on it.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean
you guys don't even play guitar.
Yeah, so what? We'll sell it and split it 3 ways.
Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk to you a little bit about your taste in music. Now, I presume at some point in your past you were a child, and then at some point in your life you stopped being a child and started becoming an adult. Unless you are already, like you're still still a child, in which case ignore what I said because you'll become an adult at some point. But presuming that you're maybe between the ages of 25 and 34, which is apparently the average audience age for this channel, that means that you've been through a fair few phases of music, right? So you might have started off when you were 11, you might have been into a bit of Eminem, you might have been into a bit of nu metal, you might have been into your Korn, your Slipknot, or maybe then, like I was, and then you might have maybe started smoking weed and you got into Pink Floyd and all the psychedelic stuff, and then maybe you got a bit bored of that, and then you started maybe getting into, I don't know, thrash metal, and then you got bored of that and you started getting into like avant-garde, sort of Frank Zappa type stuff, all sorts of things like that. You've just generally developed your taste in music and grown your catalogue of albums and songs and artists that you really enjoy. And as time goes on, you will continue to find new things. And they say that when you turn 30, you stop seeking out new music and stop finding new things. And I'm not 30 yet, but from what I've seen of other people who have turned 30 and who are now like in their 40s and their 50s and their 60s, I don't necessarily think that is the case. Sure, the things that you find in your childhood will probably remain like a core part of you, and like when you're in that, you know, main sort of 15 to 30 sort of year old part of your life, when you're just discovering yourself and discovering your place in the world, that will obviously have a treasured sort of impact on you, and it will stick with you forever. So certainly, like if you grew up in the 60s and the 70s, that kind of music is really going to resonate with you even today in a way that modern music might not be able to. By the same sort of metric, when I turn 60, the music from the 2000s or the 2010s is going to have the same impact on me, and I'll see it the same way that the previous generation might have seen the 70s and the 80s stuff, if that kind of makes sense. And then obviously the generation after me, they'll get something out of the music, but that I'll be looking at kind of going, oh God, this is a bit modern and a bit confusing for me, because I understand that. Like if you're sort of older in terms of age, I don't know what else you could be older in terms of, but say you're a bit older and you know you grew up on music in the 70s and the 80s or whatever, and now you're looking at music that's coming out today, it must seem a little bit confusing, like, you know, various sounds and what's trendy now and all that kind of stuff. Like modern pop music must feel a bit weird to you, considering what pop music was like when you were growing up, and obviously you spent a lot of time away from the general pop scene. You weren't keeping up with music the same way that you might have when you were younger. So you've taken this time away and you probably lived a bit more in the past. And then when you kind of have an experiment and have a look through and wade through the modern music, you might find it difficult to find stuff that you really resonate with, because it's all so different and it's designed to resonate with a different generation and a different group of people to you. So it will all seem a little bit strange to you, and I know that's going to happen with me in the future. But I want to get to the point where, you know, I'm in my 50s and I'm like grooving to that sine wave, you know, making sure that like I actually try and stay in touch with the modern youth, I suppose. But you know, it's quite difficult to do that. But when you're evolving as a human being across the span of your life, you will find yourself drawn to different kinds of music. Like I've had so many phases of music. Most recently, I've had a very political hip hop sort of phase, like listening to like the Akala, Fire in the Booths, and like Loki's soundtrack to The Struggle 1 and 2, Immortal Technique, Logic, the black Logic, not the white Logic, the British Logic. All sorts of political hip-hop artists, Killer Mike as well, stuff like that. But before that, I had a big krautrock phase where I was listening to like Faust and Neu and early Kraftwerk and stuff like that. And then before that, I had a very sort of trippy, psychedelic kind of phase. And then before that, I was really into Death Grips, and that was like just my band for a good while. And then I tried to explore similar sort of stuff like Wolfgirl, I think it's called, and stuff like that. It didn't really resonate with me, so I didn't really move further into that overall genre. But everything that you find ends up making an impact on your mind. So now if I see another thing that is maybe in the Death Grip sort of vein of extreme, sort of not heavy but metal way, but sort of the Gabba influence, kind of extreme electronica, kind of aggression kind of thing, that if I see that in a new artist, it's going to be easier for me to get into them. Like JPEG Mafia, for instance, does a fair bit of it. I could never quite get into him. Clipping, they do a fair bit of that sort of stuff as well, so I like them quite a bit. And you get into various artists because you found one artist and you want to find more that's kind of like that. But obviously you don't do it just purely on that level. You kind of find new stuff and you see where it'll take you and so on and so forth. And it just kind of, you know, you explore the music world, so to speak. And that's how you find new things, and that's how you develop your taste, right? So as you go forwards, always be on the lookout for something new that you can fit into your overall sense of self, because the more music that you can enjoy, the more things are out there for you to like. And the more things that are out there for you to like, the better things are. Because imagine you didn't like anything. Imagine you didn't like any music. Wouldn't that be a miserable world if you just don't like any? I know that some people have there's a condition or maybe a thing where they can't get enjoyment from music. There's a medical term for it. I can't remember what it is. But I'm not talking about that necessarily. I'm talking about being, you know, you like one genre. Say you like one genre and only one genre, and you've always liked that one genre and only that genre. There's only so much in that one genre to explore, and you probably don't like all of it. Like someone who loves technical death metal, they're not going to love every single technical death metal band and project out there, you know? There'll be some stuff in there that they think is utter crap. But by the same token, there'll be some stuff in another genre that's nothing like technical death metal. Like, I'm sure there's some tech death fans that like a couple Katy Perry songs, you know? I'm sure there's a couple Kraftwerk fans that like Led Zeppelin. Well, that's not even that different, really. But, I mean, it's a bit different, I suppose. But, you know, you've got so many different styles of music. There's so much to explore. So why not just have a bit of fun exploring it, you know? Because as you grow and evolve, new things will come into your life. You'll find new perspectives on the world. And music can help to not shift it, but to sort of define it in a sort of way where it's sort of, it is a soundtrack to where you are in the world, essentially, isn't it? It's a soundtrack to what's going on in your mind, pretty much, a little bit. You know, it's sort of like if a bad thing happens to you, you start listening to a load of depressing music. Like, you know, it's not like, you know, all your family get killed in a car crash and so you start listening to Happy by Pharrell Williams. You know, it's not going to happen. Or you might do it as a joke, but you're not doing it to actually, because it's like your favourite song at that time. I'm sure someone's done that, but I don't know. I just think that it's important to grow your taste in music, to find new stuff, to be on the lookout for new sounds that engage you and tickle that part of your brain, or I don't know, that make the hairs on your arms stand up. And it can be fun, and it's just nice. It's just really nice to find new music. That's basically all this video is. Just saying, just go find some music and enjoy it. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you have a great rest of the day. Sorry if this shot got quite dark. It is sunset, so that does happen. But yeah, I'm just gonna wrap this up by just doing a little bit of this. It's actually quite decent, this one. A lot of these park, playground, gymnasium bits of equipment are quite shite, but this one's all right. This one is good. The other ones here aren't. The camera, by the way, is sat on, you know, there's the chairs where you kind of lift it like that and then the chair lifts up. It's literally just sat on that. So watch. I'll show you a little example. Do you see that? Hang on. Thank you very much, everybody. Take care. Sorry for the motion sickness. Bye-bye. Oh, do you know what? I'm going to finish it off. While that's going up and down, I'm going to go up and down on this. I don't have the time to go to the gym today, so this technically counts as my workout. Oh. 1, 2. Did you click on the things, by the way? There's one here, and there's one here. They're both good. One's probably better than the other, so you're going to want to choose correctly. Oh, there's also a subscribe button. It's right here. Here. So, click them. Click them now. That was me trying to do like an Arnold Schwarzenegger accent. Do it now. Yeah, it doesn't sound very good. Oh well. Do it now. I don't know what that was. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I wanted to do a quick little review of the Rode SmartLav Plus, which is connected right here at the moment. I've got the wire out here. I thought I would just have the wire out so you can kind of see. So it's about that long, right? It's so here it is quite close to the mouth, here it is kind of far away. So I sound a little bit lighter, a bit heavier, a bit heavier, a bit heavier, a bit more, you know, full, and now it's probably about full, right? So you're noticing there's a little bit of like little movement noises, but not too much really, all things considered, considering I'm touching it at the moment. And as I put it on, I felt like that was all fairly natural. So you can kind of take it off and you say you were interviewing someone. Oh, what do you think about the current events? Some bad stuff going on, yeah, at the moment, yep. Okay, well thank you very much. So as you can see, they're kind of quite nice. They've got quite a full sound, and you know, there's a bit of wind going on. We're outside, you know, but at the same time it still sounds quite naturalistic, it sounds quite pleasant to the ears. If you're going to use guitar terminology, because I don't really know technicalities, I would say it's got a clean, warm tone to it. It's got this nice, warm, kind of soothing kind of thing to it. So I'm going to take off the effects that I've got at the moment. So at the moment I had like a small single band compressor on it that just has a bit of vocal boost on it. And then I've got an EQ that just takes the bottom and the top end off ever so slightly. So there's a tiny bit more hiss, there's a tiny bit more low end. You can kind of round those things out if you want. You don't necessarily have to. It depends on what kind of sound you want, and it also depends on your voice. If you've got a higher voice, you might want to increase a bit more of that high end. If you've got a very low voice, you might want to cut a tiny bit of low end just so that you're not booming throughout the entire thing. So let's put all those effects back. So here you can kind of see the difference. It's a little bit smoother sounding, a little bit more professional sounding. I think it's quite nice. I think this is a really good microphone, and I would really strongly recommend this microphone. So what I'm going to do very quickly is I'm just going to get up some of the technical specifications. Not that I really think they matter, but you know, it's good to know this sort of stuff. So it's got a 3.5mm TRRS jack. So you can use this in the smartphone without a plug or anything like that, so you don't need any kind of adapter. But if you want to use this in like in a Zoom H1 or a Tascam DR05 or a Zoom H4n or like any kind of one of those handy recorders, you would need to get a TRRS to TRS converter. They're like £10–15 for two of them. Because they can be quite useful. Like when I was working with actors and so on, I used these kind of things for about 2 years working with actors, and I had a Zoom H1 and I had a Tascam DR05, and actors tended to prefer the Zoom H1 because it was a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact, and it felt a little bit more natural to actually do their acting and so on and so forth. So it can be quite good to maybe invest in one of those as well if you want, but you don't necessarily need to. You can just use the phone. If you're on Android, you can get an app called Easy Voice Recorder. It looks like this, so it's got these little waveforms. So I'm going to do, ha! That's a little bit louder, right? And then if I whisper a little bit like that, you see it's quite low. I'm going to stop doing that because you can't really hear it. So it's quite a good little app. It does WAV, it does M4A, it does all your basic sort of things. And yeah, it's quite good. It's also got, so it's omnidirectional. So look, if I put it out here, and then I put it over here, put it over here, put it over here, and then I put it up here. So it's omnidirectional, as opposed to, say, like a boom mic, for instance, which would be very directional. So that's a train going past, so you can hear my voice matched against the train. I think it does quite a good job of keeping my voice in. You can obviously hear the train is there, but I don't think it's necessarily taking you out of the scene. I've been able to do videos with this thing where there's been planes and stuff going on in the background, and like, you know, there's wind going on over there, there's lots of trees and stuff like that, there's cars that are driving up and down the road that's behind the camera, there's loads of things like that. And it manages to do a pretty decent job of keeping everything going. It's got a 4-foot cable, so it's about that long, right? So it's quite good. I'm quite tall, so it's good to have this in the pocket, and then it comes up, and it's just the right length, I think. I mean, ideally I would have it maybe half a foot shorter, but I don't really mind. I was looking at getting some cheaper ones, but the cheaper sort of lav mics that are like sort of 10, 15, 20 pounds, the issue with them is that they've all got like 6 meter long cables, and I just think, who needs a 6 meter long cable for a lav mic? Really, and honestly and truly. So that's why I got this. I'm going to pop it back on me. It's just a really good little microphone. I really strongly recommend it. And if you want to make these kind of videos where you just kind of talk, you can get this, at the moment it's £45. It's on a bit of a deal, Black Friday and all that. It's normally £55. In America, it's probably like something like that in dollars. Probably not much different. It's a good little microphone, really strongly recommend it. Don't think too strongly about your technical sort of specifications and stuff. If you're Googling little YouTube reviews to try and like figure out what the best bit of tech is, then you might as well get the thing that feels the most right rather than the thing that necessarily has the best technical specifications. Like, you can easily put yourself down a rabbit hole like I did, where you spend months just Googling this lav mic versus this lav mic, and this one might be a bit better, this one might be a bit better, but then you need to figure out the wireless sort of system, and then you've got to figure all this out and this out and this out, and it's like, look, I would really recommend just getting this one, because this one I don't have to think. I don't have to think at all. And there's only been a couple times, and it's always been the audio recorder's fault, not the lav mic's fault, that sometimes it's cut out and stuff like that. So it's a very strong, very durable, quiet microphone. I sometimes forget to even take it off, and I just leave it on like this, and I just walk around town. I've had it on all day, just like this. And there you can hear my voice against a train again. This one's a bit of a louder train, it's a faster one, so you can sort of see, although my voice was raising in volume to accommodate it, it still managed to do quite a good job at actually matching against that. So I would really, really recommend this microphone, and that's basically all I wanted to do this video to say. Rode SmartLav Plus, I'm going to tell you exactly what it's called. It's called a Rode SmartLav Plus Rode SmartLav Plus smartphone lavalier microphone with TRRS connector for broadcast, filmmaking, content creation, location and studio voice recording. Yeah, I've actually done it for vocals and stuff before in songs, and that it's quite good for that. It has a very naturalistic sort of feel to it. So maybe if you wanted like some really crazy sort of, I don't know, things, you might want to go for maybe a Shure 57 or maybe a Shure 58 or something like that. If you actually wanted like proper studio sort of things, if you were going for that. But this is a brilliant all-round microphone for using in any situation. It really does a great job. It's an all-rounder. And since I've got them, I managed to start this channel because I bought these microphones. I got 3 of them, I broke one of them, and I need to get another couple. So yeah, I really strongly recommend them. I'm gonna leave an affiliate link for Amazon so you can go and buy them. Definitely go buy them. They're not very expensive. They hook up into your phone. If you want to hook them up into a smart recorder, you just need to get a TRRS to TRS converter. And if you want to connect it to your iPhone and you've got like one of those new iPhones that don't have the headphone jack, then all you do is just get one of those little lightning bolt to headphone jack cable things, and then it should be able to work. I don't have an iPhone, I've never tested it with an iPhone, but I imagine they work with iPhone, so it shouldn't be a problem. But maybe check another couple videos to see Rode SmartLav Plus with iPhone. Just make sure first. You know, don't just take this video as gospel. And yeah, that's going to be the whole video. So thank you very much for watching this. Hope you have a great rest of the day. If you do make any videos with these microphones, please let me know in the comments below. If you've used them before, tell me what you think of them. And if you have any other suggestions for other microphones, please suggest them as well, particularly in this kind of price range, and we can kind of get a bit of a discussion going. I'm going to do a more in-depth one of these videos at some point soon, where maybe I just test it in a few different locations. I'll go to like crowded spots, I'll do it indoors, I'll do it in nature, I'll do it like on a train, I'll do it on a plane, I'll do it on a bus, I'll do it while I'm going around town and stuff like that. So yeah, take care everybody, have a great rest of the day, bye bye, love you all. You can kind of get that as well. And also, let me just do, it's doing a good job, isn't it? Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to do a little bit of a guided meditation. A lot of the time it can feel like, you know, things are getting on top of you, it's stressful, stuff like that. So this is a little bit of time just to not worry so much. Don't let things get on top of you. Just, if things are feeling a little bit stressful, so you've clicked on this video, right? What you want to do, you want to just shut your eyes for a second. Just sort of, okay. Right, so your eyes are shut now, and you're sort of seeing that little sort of whitish sort of stuff that you kind of see when you close your eyes, that kind of, oh God, what's that? You know, when it kind of like, you get those little refractions and that kind of thing. So now what I want you to do, I want you to sort of just open them enough, not that you can see stuff, but that you can feel the blackness from your eyelids sort of turn into a bit of a blur. So, probably looks a bit stupid to be honest, but yeah, that kind of thing. So the bottom of it is sort of flickering, you can kind of just about see the bottom. If you move your hands or whatever's underneath here, you can see a little bit of movement, but you can't necessarily make it out. And that's nice. It's nice to just keep things small and to focus on just what you can see, what you can hear, what you can smell, what you can touch. So why don't you just touch something that's nearby? If you're lying in bed, just touch the mattress, touch the duvet. If you're sitting on the sofa, just touch that. Touch the upholstery if you're sat near a curtain. If you're walking along, just like rub your legs. Actually, don't do this if you're walking because your eyes are shut. So stand still and just sort of rub, like, I don't know, the material of your trousers or something like that. Or, you know, just get a bit of a sense of touch. And you still got your eyes kind of flickering at the bottom. You can just about see the bottom. You've probably shut your eyes a little bit more as you were focusing on the touching sort of thing, because you're trying not to overwhelm your senses. That's very important. Don't let your senses get overwhelmed. Just go with the flow of this video. So next, I want you to take in a long, deep breath through the nose. So 3, 2, 1. Lean your head back. Maybe try and get a little crack in your neck. Pop that little misplaced bone. Ooh, those joints are a little bit tight, aren't they? And do a second little bit of a breathe in. Really feel your lungs. And then 3, 2, 1. Let's do that one more time. There's a lot of noise out there around you. Not just in this video, but in your real world now. Maybe there's construction going on next door. Maybe there's traffic outside. Maybe the cows are mooing. All sorts of noises. Just focus on the intake of the breath. Hold it in your lungs. And out through the mouth. Let's just do that again. In through the nose. Lean your back. Fill your lungs. And out through the mouth. Now keep your eyes closed and just kind of look around with closed eyes, seeing little bits of blackness, but you might see a bit of a white sort of spot somewhere in the reflection of your eyelids. Maybe it's refractions from a light that's coming in. It's sort of seeping through the gap between your eyelids, because even though your eyes are shut, there's still a tiny bit of space there for light to actually get in, like a camera that's set to f-stop 38. So just look in that light, try and visualize that light and try and actualize that light and try and turn that light from a bit of a blur into a single pin, little pin light, a little singular white dot. And focus on it, really focus. Maybe your eyeballs feel like they're sort of convening inside your eyelids. Take in a breath, fill your lungs, and out through the mouth. Now you're seeing that pin light, and as you see it, and as you start to notice it, you'll notice that it kind of returns back to a blur. So open your eyes, have a look around. Everything feels a little bit brighter, a little bit more colourful, because you've sort of refocused, readjusted your eyes, and now you can end this little meditation and you can get back on with your life, doing whatever you were doing before. But it was nice to take a little bit of a break. It was nice to just stop for a little second and just take it all in and be just one with yourself amongst a general wider world. So yeah. We're going to come back now out of the meditation and back down to reality. So let's do one final intake of the breath with your eyes open. And out through the mouth. One more. In through the nose. And out through the mouth. So thank you very much for watching this. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it was fun doing this little meditation. I hope you actually did it and didn't just watch me breathing like a Hmong. And yeah, thank you very much for watching this video. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Jonny Mozza's Lessons in Confidence, and today I wanted to do a little bit of a guided meditation, just a nice little relaxation kind of thing, because I imagine you're a little bit stressed out at the moment. That's probably why you clicked this video. You know, you've got stuff going on in your life, and you know, it's nice to just slow down and just not let all that stuff get in the way. So what I want you to do is ignore the wind, Ignore the sounds that are coming from all around, not just in this video, but within your life. If there's construction going on next door, if you live near a train station, if the traffic outside is really loud, if there's some like guy that's arguing with another guy, all of those kind of things, what I want you to do is just shut your eyes. Okay, so now you've shut your eyes. Now keep them shut. Keep them shut no matter what. I know you've got that sense that you want to kind of open them a little bit so you can see what's going on around you. You don't need to see what's going on around you because right now everything is okay. Everything is fine, okay? So what I want you to do, I want you to take a big, deep breath in. I want you to inhale like your life depends on it. So 3, 2, 1. And out. Okay, let's do that again. Let's do it one more time. Best of 3. Hold it in your lungs and breathe out. Now I know it feels quite intense right now. I know that the wind might be in your headphones from this video. Let that wind just wash over you, okay? It's white noise and it will filter out the white noise of your subconscious, of your thoughts. You might be overthinking a lot of things. You might have a lot that's going through your brain. You might need to be worrying about, are you going to keep your job and you're trying to figure out your finances, you've got bills to pay and family to look after and people depend on you and all this kind of stuff, right? And it can be very stressful. It can be very hard to stay grounded throughout all this because you're living in a very tumultuous time. So what I want you to do is just let the sound of the wind wash away the thoughts that are in your head. You don't need these thoughts for the next few minutes. For the next few minutes, all you need is the sound of your own inhalation and your own exhalation. You need to hear the sound of the wind going through your ears, rush past your head, feel it in your hair, even if you're inside. Imagine you're out, because this is quite strong wind. It's definitely coming through on the microphone. And just take some time to keep breathing. And out. And in. And out. Now just keep doing that. Keep doing that and keep your eyes firmly closed. Actually, don't keep them firmly closed, keep them gently closed. As if they want to spring open at any second, but don't let them spring open. Because there's nothing that you need to see right at this second. Just keep the sound of the wind rushing through between your ears. It's very strong, this wind. And just allow it to wash through you and take hold. Because everything will be okay. Because if it's not okay, then it's... The saying is, everything will be alright in the end. And if it's not alright, it's not the end. So just keep that in mind as you keep breathing. Maybe take some time to, whilst you keep your eyes closed, just look around. Keep your eyes closed, but move your head. Maybe look at where, the TV would be, but right now you just see black. Maybe have a look over at the door. Just see black. If you're outside, and you sat down on a park bench or something, just look from left to right and just imagine what's there. It's an empty path, ready for your imagination to fill it full of things once you open your eyes. And we're going to open our eyes in about a minute or so. But for now, we're just going to keep breathing. In through the nose, and out through the mouth. It's all you need to keep doing. And in through the nose, and out through the mouth. Now, life can be quite stressful. We all know that. But there's always at least a small moment in every day that can be put aside just to remember yourself, to remember your own needs. Not like physical needs, but just emotional, mental needs that only you can fulfill. All you need to do is just be comfortable in your own skin, with yourself, with your own mind. Because because you have a good mind. Your mind's nice. It's a nice mind. I don't know you personally, but I'm sure it's a pretty good mind. And once we're done with this, hopefully you can put it to work doing something pretty good. Now that you've had some time to strip it all back and just see through the closed eyes, just simplicity, basic simplicity. That's all you need. So we're going to do one more breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And with that, I'd like you to open your eyes. Very slowly, let them naturally open. And take in the world that's around you. You might see a bit of a blur to begin with because you've had your eyes closed for a little while. And now, you're back. You're back in the real world. So, thank you very much for watching this video. Once it's finished, this video, just get up, wander around, do the things you said you were going to do earlier that you maybe put off because you wanted to watch a couple of YouTube videos. If you're going to bed, I hope you have a good night. If you're just waking up in the morning, I hope you have a good day. And if you're watching this in general, I hope you have a good life because you're pretty brilliant. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you have a good rest of the day and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.